you deliciously have a cigarette holder.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about, did that help, the building of the character?
Well, there was very little in... I thought that the Lee Israel book, Can You Ever Forgive Me, would be this Wikipedia of information for me as an actor, of going, oh, well, I'll find out, like on YouTube, what the person looked like, how they acted, and have a way into them. And all she really said was that he was 47 years old, he was blonde, tall, from Portland, Oregon, so American, and was dead from AIDS at the age of 47 in 1994, and that he had been in jail for 2 years for holding up a taxi driver with a knife because he disagreed about the fare that should have been paid. I don't know why that should be funny, but it amused me that you should go to jail for 2 years for that. And the other thing is that he had this stubby cigarette holder, which I asked Marielle Heller in the props department if I could have that, because I thought somebody who had this sort of Petro Tool-like affectation, trolling around Greenwich Village in the early 90s, suggested a kind of louche self-confidence of maybe getting people to talk to him because he had the cigarette holder, because I don't think you really see people with cigarette holders much, certainly in my experience. And the other thing that gave away, the only other clue that I had was that after she had been rumbled by the FBI and had to use Jack to fence these letters in order to earn money, where she would have expected $300 to $500 for a letter, he would go out and come back with $2,000. So I thought, yeah, exactly. I thought that is a clue to some level of self-confidence or blag and blarney that he could go out there and convince people to pay him that amount of money. So that's really what I had to go on.
Most of the gay men of Jack's generation, and during that time, had a lot of self-loathing, and Jack doesn't have. I mean, you mentioned the self-confidence. Where do you think Jack came about that self-confidence?
God, I don't know. And I didn't know him, and I didn't meet anybody that did know him. There are no photographs of him and no record of his family, so we made the assumption that he had been disowned by them, so essentially was his loner. But the person that I found the most inspirational from real life is I was friends and worked with an actor called Ian Charleson, who was Scottish, and he was in an Oscar-winning movie, in the last century called Chariots of Fire. And he played the Scottish runner who wouldn't run on the Sunday in the 1924 Olympics. And Ian had this combination of being little boy lost on the one hand, and incredibly decadent, and he led a dissolute life on the other, and he died of AIDS in 1990. And the last time I saw him, he was wearing that headscarf like I wore in this movie, and I asked Marielle, the director, as an homage to Ian, and as much because to indicate that somebody has lost their hair without having to shave my head because it was shot out of sequence, could I do that? And then they Googled what men at that time looked like when they were HIV positive or in the last stages of their lives, and found that there were many pictures that corroborated that. So she endorsed that and allowed me to do that. So Ian Charleson really inspired me of this quality of having great self-confidence and also a little boy lost quality to him. So that's really what I went on.